guys, welcome to today's video. Someone I was talking to in game who watches my video gave me an idea to make a video on how to get really strong in Arcane Legend. And while I don't have really OP stat at the moment, I do know how to get extremely strong in Arcane Legend. So I'm gonna be showing you guys how to get strong in this game. The first thing that I'm gonna say is obviously having a pet, because they give you extra stats with damage and high primary stats and plus 25 each. So the more these are, the more the better stats you will have as well. So going back to that, so pets is one way to get strong. The stronger your pets are, or the better they are, the more the stronger you will be. And recommend Heroic Fenris, and Cotton Kill is also a pretty good one. Necro is the best because you get the shield. His shield is really powerful. Slotted Heroic Fenris in there to give better stats than the Necro stats. Shady and Surge, one of my favorite pet of all time. So I really like this one when I go in elite maps because it damages and heals you as well, and it has a good start as well. This was my first Arcane pet. So pets, those are some of my recommendations. Then I'm gonna be showing you guys the skills. So right now this build is made for killing bosses only. That's why you can see I have only stuff that do a lot of damage or for DPS. So going back to skills, I have this with this and this upgrade, those two upgrades. This is aim shot full upgrades, noxious ball full upgrade, and lastly the shadow storm shot. This is also the strategy I use when farming for APS in low level towns. And when I say lower, I mean like below level 56, so I can kill them fast and move on with speed set. Passives, I use all of the passive except the quickness, because I have the speed set, so I don't really need that. Masteries, I have noxious and shadow storm shot, just because they do a bit of extra damage. Because normally I would do this full if I was also killing mobs, but in elite Festifying you don't really need to kill a lot of mobs often, so I don't have this one upgraded and have this upgraded instead. And lastly, of course, the ultimate aim shot. You also want to put all your points, so all your points will go to, if you're a rogue, all of your point goes to dexterity. I've put all of them here. If you are a mage, you put all of your points here, and if you're a war, you put all of your strength here. And if you put it here, you'll get 10 extra health. I think this is 100 mana, and this gives you like a lot more than this basically for me, because rogue. Also, this is my primary stat. So when you see primary stats, that's what it means whether you're a rogue, mage, or intelligent. So if I am, because I'm a rogue, my primary stat is dexterity. If you're a mage, your primary stat will be intelligence. So the next way to get stronger is obviously having the best gear. Now, because I'm not really running any maps, I didn't really bother buying any gears. So when I do start farming, probably in the holidays and major events, I'll buy gears to do that. But basically the way gears work is it's sorted by rarity and level. So you want to get rare epic. If you're not very rich, you want to get legendary gear of your level. So if you're level 61, buy stuff that are 61. I normally would recommend force. This force is good because it gives you good amount of armor and DPS as well. And this is if you don't have a lot of gold, but normally I'd go for potency, which is good because it gives you this one doesn't show it, but potency usually is really good for getting a lot of decks and mana as well. So if you're low on mana, you might want to get potency. There is another one that's really good as well. Brutality, that's right. If you go for brutality, you will get more health. But if you have the gold, you obviously want to pursue the mythic gaze of your level, or the level closest to yours. As you can see, it starts off with level 51 and ends on at level 60 here. And next is spirit weapons. I personally wouldn't recommend them. They aren't worth it at the moment. Then there's set gears. These are only good if you have the gold and can afford them. And then it's obviously arcane, which is the best rarity, and you want to go for the highest level. The higher the levels, the better they are for getting stronger in Arcane Legend. And this applies throughout most of the classes. The rarity and the level are the most important ones in terms of how strong you can get. So clearly this would be one of the strongest amulet in the game, since it's the highest rarity and has the highest level. And that's basically the general trend to get stronger. Next, same for artifact as well. And once you have the best gears, the next thing to look out for is awakening on your weapons and armors and pretty much everything else. So I'm going to be recommending you some awakening. Usually I go for armor so I don't die easily. I usually don't go for health. I usually go for armor and DPS. And high dodge as well, so I don't die often. But because I'm not too worried about stats at the moment, I don't really mind. So as a rogue, I go for a high bonus damage, dodge, critical, and DPS. And a lot of armor. The mana, you can pretty much use the potion, so it doesn't matter. And if you have a lot of armor, the health doesn't really make too much of a big difference, as long as it's not too bad. So the awakening that are best, obviously the 10 stats, if you can get it on all of the slots. As you can see here, I have this weapon for the proc, but it doesn't really make my stats any better. So you want to go for the 10 stats, and preferably on all of the slots. That means you get like 40 extra stats on all of them, which is like 400 mana and 40 health and 4 and yeah, just a lot of stuff. The 3% is really good as well. The 3% dex STR. This is especially helpful if you go for only this on all of your items, because they will stack on top of each other. So the better your stats are, the better your stats will be because of the percentage here. This is preferred at end game, so near the end, whereas this will be preferred at lower level. Then the armor doesn't really contribute to your strength, but more about your survival. The boss damage is if you farm gold in places like Elite Southern Gates and the bosses in Elite Faster Fang. This damage is good as well, anywhere above 2.0 to 4.0, especially in more than one slot. It's really good as well. And the extra percentage damage is also good, but I think I've more prefer the damage here than percentage. I'm not too sure why, but if you have a lot of damage, this one would basically be more preferred. And there is of course your primary stats, the 12 dex, which is what something you would make you stronger, or if you're a rogue, it would be intelligence or for mages and strength for warriors. The percentage is also really favored by all rogues because the dex contributes to your bonus damage, the dodge, critical, and damage, whereas STR would only contribute to your health and intelligence would only contribute to your mana. So you get a lot more value out of primary stats. So emphasis on primary stats. The dodge, the elite damages aren't really that important. XP not important. Gold load, health is good sometimes if you wanna go for a health build. Intelligence, that's for mage, and yeah, and this is for warriors, of course. The pretty much same applies to all the other classes. Lastly, it's your jewels. So your jewels play a really important part in your strength, and that's what basically separates a lot of the people, the weaker ones from the stronger people. So obviously as you go up, they increase by 1 extra stats, and depending on the rarity of the item. So if you have an arcane item, you can obviously put 4 jewels. The mythic, we can only put 3, and so on. So, and they are restricted by level as well. So this jewel is level 25, which means I can't put this if an item is more than level 25, so 26 on Bork and above. But as you go up, it does get more expensive. But needless to say, if you're a warrior, you wanna aim for the precise fury, but they're really hard to find and cost a lot as well. So this is the noble, and the superb are like a medium ground. Most of the average rich players will use this, and slightly more rich players will use this. And the really top LB players uses the precise fury jewels. Sometimes you just have to craft them for yourself. And it's the same for warriors. Rogues here, and this is the same for mages. The lightning adds critical, and it's relatively cheap. This would also increase your damage, but overall, I would recommend going with the jewel of your class. I wouldn't recommend the diamond or the nature, although some people do like nature. Water is really bad, so don't go for that. And if you play in the Twilight expansion, then I would recommend these jewels because they provide you extra damage on top of the base stats in Summerhold and the Graveyard and Mausoleum. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all the way you can get stronger. Also, there are other ways which include which include the elixirs as well. You can get extra damage elixir, so this will obviously make you stronger as well. Yeah, see, it increases your damage as well, so that's definitely something to look for. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you got some good tips to become stronger and generally survive more, and some tips on pets and skills and just gears and jewels and all the good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.